Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So for SRC 501 Sport Communication, our group will represent about chapter 3, which is interpersonal communication and intrapersonal communication. Intrapersonal communication is actually a communications within yourself or a self-talk, or you are communicating with oneself where you want to persuade yourself to do something. Or interpersonal communication is actually a communications of two people within the context of their relationship and to negotiate their relationship or interpret their relationships. So this is to shows the bonding or intimate that you have with another person, and it can be changes from time to times, which is who you are talking to or communicate with, and it is contain the negotiation, which is you have to ask and get the feedback.
Relating intrapersonal communication with sport. Okay, motivating oneself whenever in tournament or competition. It is about how do you use intrapersonal communication to communicate with yourself to beat the fear when you are in a tournament or in competitions. And it's also help to create self-awareness and increase the level of emotional intelligence within oneself, and also stabilizing the anxiety and improve oneself before or after during the competition. It is to make sure that you are self-knowledge and self-actualization which yourself is increased. Relating interpersonal communication with sports. So it's about increase the bonding between coach and athlete, working partners or teammates. So in the interpersonal communication, it is about how you communicate or express your feeling or express the situation to one and another, because it also helps to creating a good working competing environment where you have the feedback, you have the response from each other, and so that you know what is current situation is all about. And also it increase the awareness upon teammate, coaches or bosses. So if there is a conflict between you guys, so interpersonal communication is when you have to use and then to overcome it so that there won't be any problem in future. And it is about the coach-athlete relationship where you have to communicate with one and another.
Okay, the next slide is the nature of communication in interpersonal relationship. Okay, interpersonal communication occur within interpersonal relationship as the Miller. Okay, and interpersonal communication is limited to those situations in which we have knowledge of the personal characteristic, qualities, and behavior of the person. Okay, in the in interpersonal communication can get the knowledge of other characteristic people and behavior, and with when you interact at the people. And interpersonal relationship is defined as a relation between two people who are interdependent, who use some consist pattern of interaction, and who have interact for a extended period of time. So communication with interpersonal communication can with you long term from face to face, and can interact can via WhatsApp and other. And next slide is the element interpersonal relationship. The four one include two or more people to achieve the goal to communicate to success to communicate with other. And two, interpersonal relationship involve people who are interdependent, so communicate will help each other to get the message. Okay, and three is individual in interpersonal relationship use some consist pattern of interaction. As so the pattern, for the example is pattern is you can communicate in via WhatsApp or another, and at the restaurant. And then the last, individual in interpersonal relationship generally have interact for some. So but same with the uh, point three. And then next slide is three basic interpersonal needs that are satisfied through interaction with other. And the first and need for inclusion or becoming involved with other, and two, need for affection or holding for tender feeling toward another person, and three, needs for control or ability to influence other or environment and ourselves. So uh, overall is when you interpersonal communication with each other, and you can the control and affection inclusion. That is the basic interpersonal needs when you communicate each other people. And the next slide is communication affect the growth of relationship, and the growth of relationship affect communicative behavior. And social penetration theory state that interpersonal exchange move from superficial, not intimate information transfer to more intimate information exchange through the process of revealing personal information. So, for the example, first time you what we ask, first time you meet the someone, and first time you can ask the people ask the about the assignment or another, and then we have to continue and friendly, and maybe can daily time by time you accept the people communicate via people. And
There are three stages of interpersonal relationship, which are first relational development, second is relational maintenance, and third is relational deterioration.
Relational development is the process by which relationship grow in interpersonal commons. For first is initiating. The short beginning period of an interaction involve first impressions, the sizing up of the other persons, and attempting to find commonality, such as saying hello, talking about age, where you live, and what is your names. So for the second point is experimenting, getting more information about each other, quick scouting, and to start getting serious. For example, start asking about a status, such as married or yet, are you single or not. And for third point is intensifying, involve active participation, information exchange, become more personal and more intimate. Example, for start asking what someone favorite hobbies and foods, and what's favorite foods. For the fourth is integrating, start mirroring each other behavior in manners, dress and language, merge social circle, designate common property, and share interests and values. Let's know more each other than those anyone else. Like example is getting to know each other, what the couple like or dislike, in terms of behavior or language. For the five is bonding. The people in the relationship commit to each other. For example, each other need to understand each other responsibilities and roles in a relationship.
For the relational maintenance, the process of keeping relationship stable between two people. First, relationship can stabilize at any level of intimacy. Example, they always communicate with each other. Second is stabilized relationship may have internal movement like a parent and child. Third is dialectic exists in interpersonal relationship. Fourth is dialectic refers to the tension that exists between two conflicting or interacting force, elements or idea. Example like they husband and wife always communicate with each other if have a problem or something. And fifth, contradicting that existed in a relationship means that each person might have two opposing desire for maintaining the relationship. Example, husband and wife have the same desire but their ways may be different. Okay, for the relational deteriorations, the process by which relationship disintegrate or coming apart, it occur when first differentiating, when the two partners start emphasizing their individual difference instead of their similarities. Example, when husband just work and his wife not work, so they always keep talking about that things. For the second point is the circumscribing, decreasing interaction, shorter times together, and less deep to sharing. Example, only focus on work and do not have time to spend together. Third is stagnating, a lack of activity together. Interaction are minimal, functional, and only for convenience. Example, they only talk when they need help or need something. they do not have a time together, like do not spend time together for watching or playing. Fourth is avoiding, reluctant to interact, active avoidance, and even hostility. Example, when the two former partners are now getting in each other's ways, each seeing the other as an obstacle, they arguing, fighting, disagreeing, and fight their interactions. Fight mark as their interaction. For five, terminating. When two people are no longer seen by others or themselves as a pair, divorce, annulment, and dissolution will happen. Example, no longer live together, former friend will have nothing to do each other, and roommates will take separate and distant quarters. For initiating interpersonal relationship is the basic strategies by which people to seek informations about another person. I have three strategy. First, passive strategies. Passive strategies is when people simply observe the second person. Example, they Paula just watch their opponents. Second is interactive strategies. The first person communicate directly with the second person. Example, they Paula meet with opponent and say hi. Third is active strategies. Involve the person making a request to someone to set up situations where the second person can be observed, or you can talk with him or her.
There is four issue of uncertainty around relationship in sport, which is number one. It's about behavioral norms of the relationship. Example, the coaches, athletes, stakeholder, fans, and many more. So it's about how they behave in the around the relationship in sport. Okay, and then next it's about the mutuality of relationship between personal, organization, and etc. It is about how mutual the relationship is all about. And number three, it's current definitions of the relationship, which is how do they define the current relationship is all about. So that is when its relationship uncertainty happen. And number four is the future of the relationship. What's bring in the relationship in future. So if there is a good relationship, would it be a good one or would it be the bad one?
Terminating relationship and have to fight, and one co-cultural difference, and two conventional difficulty, and three dependence power, and four satisfying relationship, and five individual characteristics. So for the culture difference is the people is display different level of non-verbal or verbal involved in intimate the romantic partner, and conventional difficult need maybe can motivate the thematic relation, and for depends power control over relationship had by a person to committed to relationship to pursue the partner, and for satisfaction people is a long-term relationship when you suitable at someone, and then five individual characteristic, and individual characteristic can make the characteristic is bad to good the characteristic. Okay, that's all.
Okay, so that's all from us. Hope you enjoy our video. So thank you. Bye.